I make arts. But I also do like playing video games. One of my favorite trilogies of video games ever made are Dark Souls games. I know I'm pretty late to the party, I've only played this like a year ago, but those became some of my favorite games ever, and I draw a lot of inspiration from these in my art. So my plan is to make this kind of mini-series of 3 videos playing every Dark Souls game again and drawing inspiration from that to make an art piece. This video will contain Dark Souls 1, remastered of course. Once I am far enough into the game to have an idea for a drawing or an illustration or however you want to call it, I'll make something and I'll talk about the game, I'll talk about how I made this art piece, what gave me the idea, and I think this could be an interesting concept. First of all, I want to talk a bit about this game for those who are unfamiliar. Dark Souls 1 is a game that came out in 2011. It's quite a while back, but they remastered it in 2019 with a game that looks kind of worse than the original. It's made by From Software, who is also very famous for games like Armored Core and most famous for Elden Ring. The dude who wrote Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3 is not the same person that wrote Dark Souls 2, and you can see that because personally I don't really like Dark Souls 2. You'll see in the next video why. I do really enjoy Dark Souls 1. I've played through it once. I'm just gonna replay it. I'm not gonna play a new game plus, I'm just gonna start a new game. Oh yeah, I was gonna explain what the game was. So, it is a dark fantasy, high fantasy video game. I'll explain the plot really quick. I'll actually just speedrun the plot. So, at the beginning, there was nothing. Then there was fire. With fire came life and light and good and bad, and everything got its counterpart. But the first flame is dying, and there's just one very stubborn man who just doesn't want you to relight the flame. So your objective is to go to that man, beat him, then you get the choice to relight the flame or let it die out. That's the concept of the game, really quickly. So yeah, I'm just gonna play through the first game, but I don't really play a lot of video games, so this video will take a really long time to make. So once this is up and you expect the Dark Souls 2 video, you can expect to wait a few months. I don't like Dark Souls 2, first of all. Second of all, I don't really play that much games, so... But yeah, to the gameplay, which is a really weird thing to say. This is an art channel, I'm gonna make art, just wait for it, okay? It's gonna be there. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of Dark Souls. A lot. I've been playing some Dark Souls. That means that I have an idea. Started a new playthrough, made a character and called him Kevin. Not Kevin, but Kevin. A few things I noticed about the game is that it's insanely janky. I'm used to the Dark Souls 3 controls and stuff. So the controls feel really unnatural and not as smooth as in Dark Souls 3. And also the fact that you can only roll in 4 directions, being forth, backwards and right and left, is really, what's het woord? Annoying. Because yeah, I'm used to Dark Souls 3, so yeah, but except for that, I love the vibe of the game, the music, the map design, how everything is interconnected, and you can go from playing like 3 hours in an area and then realizing that at the end of that area is a shortcut all the way back to the fire link at the beginning of the game. I think that's really cool. Also, I really love the Bell Gargoyles battle. That's the only battle I've done until now that I'm really like, wow, I really like that. But at this moment, I'm at Ornstein and Smoke, and I absolutely hate that. That's where I'm at the game at the moment. So the idea I have at the moment for the drawing I'm gonna make is a dude sitting underneath a tree. I got this idea because I was walking through the Darkroot Garden, and for those of you who know, who don't know, it's an area filled with trees and it's in a forest, but there's also a lot of ruins there. So I made a sketch in like 25 seconds of a wizard sitting underneath a tree. So this is the main idea. I don't really know who I'm gonna put underneath the tree yet, so I'll have to make a lot of sketches around that. But I got the idea because, of course, the dark root garden, and second of all, because I got all my studies and sketches from last year of school back, and this was in there. It's a tree. I really like this tree, and I do think the style in which I drew it, it's pretty cool, which means that I want to try to do this more often. That being said, I also made another drawing in school to kind of prepare myself for this, which is this one. I'm gonna get to sketching and I'll see where this takes us, and I'll play some more Dark Souls. I began sketching to find out what composition looked the best and everything like that. And I came to a conclusion for my character at the bottom of my tree. First of all, before I explain my idea, I did get my ideas through Dark Souls, but I haven't finished yet, but I did finish my artwork. I'm probably not gonna finish it for the video, I'm gonna finish it outside of the video. As much as I love the game, how do I explain this? I have a lot of other things to do. I want this video to be out around 3 weeks after my previous video got uploaded, which means I still have a week. I will not be able to finish Dark Souls in a week. I don't play that much video games. I don't have a lot of time for video games. Maybe it wasn't the smartest idea to start the series if I don't, but the point of this video was I get to talk a bit about Dark Souls. I get an idea out of Dark Souls by playing it again, I have some fun playing it again, and I make some art. But yeah, I started sketching in my sketchbook and I got an idea by thinking of Nito and Gwen. Because I have this character I draw a lot, which is this little guy. That's just the thing I draw when I have to doodle on something or someone asks me, hey, can you draw something really quick? That's the thing I go for. Am I even recording? Yes, I am. So I thought it would be a cool thing to implement in this drawing. Later, I ran into a problem with this. I'll come back to that. So yeah, I just laid down my pencil work really quick just to have a layout on my page. Once I started drawing, I don't really draw every detail with my pencil. I just make a raw sketch of where everything needs to be, and then I just start with my line art because it adds a lot of personality. And then stuff like this is just my mind on cruise control and putting down lines. If I think, oh, that's a little too light, I add lines. If I think, oh, that part is a little too dark, then I'm screwed because I can't make anything lighter. So yeah, that's just on autopilot, just drawing lines and being impulsive with it and just living in the moment. Because also this drawing took me like, I think 2 hours to make, which a half hour of that was just making my sketches. Because I don't really like putting a lot of time into drawings. Most of the time when I make a drawing, I finish it in like an hour, 2 hours, maybe 3. And I finish them in like a day. So this one's no exception. It's exactly the same. When I came to the character I wanted to draw, my first idea was to make it a black silhouette with a skull face, like in my doodles. But then I thought it would blend in too well with the surroundings. So what I did is I just drew the silhouette and that's it. So it's just a white empty space. I finished this and I noticed I accidentally made use of the golden ratio. Just wanted to say this, I think that's kind of cool. The next step of this is to take this with me to school this Thursday and scan it in to make some digital alterations. Maybe I won't, I'm gonna try a few things. Maybe it will look awful and then that's the end result. I'm really happy with this as an end result, but I think I can elevate it a bit by adding some digital elements in it. Subtle digital elements in it. So we'll see where that takes us, and that's everything I have to say for now. Once again, I did scan my drawing in school and I altered it digitally. like I said I would. But one of the standard procedures I go through every time I draw something and I alter it digitally is adjusting my levels in Photoshop. So I only get black and white and no tones in between. So I can just put a white background layer behind it, select every white in my first layer, of which the drawing is in, and just deleting that so the drawing looks the same. So when I add a color or a shading layer or anything like that, it stays behind the black layer and doesn't have any white bleed from the shadows in the first drawing. So that's kind of finding the right spot to set your levels to, and then everything goes by itself. So the things I tried is I did try a lot of things. A lot of things didn't work really well with this piece. So while editing this, I noticed that there's a few things I didn't talk about. One being some of the versions have a black silhouette instead of a white, because I thought it looked cool, but later I realized the white one still looked better. So do with that information what you will. I will keep the white one in the end. So yeah, that's everything. For example, I did try coloring it, which didn't look that good. But the things that did look good were a gradient map over the whole thing. So my blacks would be brown, for example. That's one of the ones I really like, which makes it look like it's made with a brown fine liner, which I also do really like, and I want to use my brown fine liners more because I don't really use them a lot. But then I think if I make it black, I still have the option to change it to brown or keep it black or everything. So it's kind of a double thing. I also added a gradient map to make it look like it was made with a... I don't know what the English word is for zeefdruk. It looked like that, and I thought that was pretty cool, but not as an actual piece by itself. So I made some wallpapers out of it. And I think that's it. I think the original drawing, the black and white one, and the brown and white one are the best ones. So I'm gonna pick those as final pieces. So that's where you get the reveal of. That's everything I have to say. I hope you liked this video. If you did, drop a like. If you didn't, also drop a like. Let me know if you liked the Dark Souls thing I did, because I know I didn't really talk a lot about Dark Souls. I didn't want to bore anyone who was not interested in Dark Souls, so they still get a lot of art with that. And subscribe if you want to see more. Share this video with all your cousins. And that's everything I have to say. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.